When finding yourself, the first question you need to ask yourself is, who am I? Write down that answer. What does your answer look like? Does it look like a description of how unique you are? The reason why the answer to your question, who am I, looks like it is describing your uniqueness is because you probably try to describe yourself by inferring to what others identify you as or describe you, right? You probably stated your name, what are your physical characteristics, what are your affiliations, what are your possessions, what are the roles that you play, what are your skills and knowledge, what are your personality traits, what are your character qualities, and finally, what are your beliefs, right? So, no doubt you ended up with a description of yourself that was showing off your uniqueness. It is perfectly all right, okay? But beyond this description of your unique self, you have to go one step further in order to find yourself. When you are trying to find yourself, your end goal is to find your true identity, and that true identity is universal. When I say universal, I mean that this identity that is embedded deeply in the very core of you is also existent in all other beings, right? So I mentioned about your unique description of yourself being made up of things like your physical characteristics, your affiliations, your possessions, your roles, your personality trait, your skills and knowledge, your character qualities, and your beliefs. These 8 things are layers of identifiers through which others identify you, and over time you learn to identify yourself in the same manner. And as I said before, that's fine. But beyond that, you have to reach deeper within and find that which your true identity, which is also universal. And that true identity is your life force or your energy. For consistency, from this point forward, I'm going to refer to this universal identity that resides at the core of every being that exists as the energy. Okay, so our true universal identity is energy. Finding that energy within you, finding your true self, is hard work and it is painful. So 2 questions arise at this stage. How do you do it? But maybe before the how, the more important question is, why should I do it? Let me answer these 2 questions. Why you should do it is because when you find connection with this true identity, in other words, when you are able to connect with the energy that resides within you and understand the principles according to which this energy operates, you are able to transcend many challenges and you become resilient, and therefore you can continue to grow to achieve your true potential, which is infinite, or at least it is significantly higher than who you are, as you identify yourself restricted by this 8 layers of identifiers that I mentioned. Okay, so this is the why. So how do you then do it? That is the very objective of this channel that I've started. I'm going to systematically take you through each of the steps of how to peel away each layer from the outermost layer inwards and take each layer apart and reassemble it in a manner that it is coherent and congruent with the principles according to which you are supposed to operate, and then we will reconstruct ourselves in order to be able to achieve our true potential, or at least a potential that is way higher than what we are today. So that is what this whole channel is about. Further on how we are going to establish connection with this true identity of ours, the energy that exists at the innermost core of our being, we are going to move forth from the premise that we do exist as matter as well as energy, right? So what we're trying to do is we are trying to elevate the matter to its best form, every layer of the matter to its best form, in order to gain the maximum benefit for the matter and for the energy. And we can do this by establishing connection with the energy and going back and forth between energy and every layer of the matter. Might sound abstract to you. Let me just give you a little bit more information. This basically means that we study every layer of our identity as matter, as I mentioned before. Example, our physical characteristic. Okay, let's say that for some reason there are certain aspects of our physical characteristic. For example, our health, our physical health is less than ideal. In this scenario, we would do everything necessary in the physical world with regard to the matter, things like exercise, eating, and such. At the same time, we will connect back to the energy. This is to change habits, to develop motivation. So certain ideas have to be planted deep into the subconscious of the energy, right? In order to create motivation to impact this change in behavior, in order to bring about the result, the outcome, where the matter is concerned. So it is a unique journey of going back and forth between matter and energy to create the ideal results along the 8 pillars, the 8 pillars of life, which I had covered in another video. And also in terms of our personality trait, we will also visit the 5 dimensions of personality development which we had talked about, or personal development which we had talked about in another video. The link to those 2 videos I will provide in the description section below. So when we are doing this, as we are moving back and forth between multiple layers of matter to the energy, we need to find access to the energy, meaning we have to connect to the energy. What does this mean? Connecting to the energy, meaning actually reducing our connection to matter and increasing connection to energy. This involves understanding the brain, its neuronal network, and also understanding the coherence between heart and brain. How can we achieve coherence between heart and brain using breathing, and hence altering the frequency of the brain to the right frequency in order for us to increase our connection to our energy, or in this case I can use the term subconscious mind, and in that moment plant ideas in the subconscious mind such that habits are changed, motivation is created, then come back and use this increased elevated state to alter the matter, in this case our physical body. I hope this excites you as much as it excites me as I talk about it. As a parting word, let me leave you with this thought to ponder upon. Your present identity, made up of those 8 layers that I mentioned, which you think is your true identity, which you think is your unique strength, sometimes can be the hardest habit to break because we are so proud of who we are, aren't we all? So, I hope this motivates you to join me in this journey of discovering our limitless selves and achieve so much more. See you again in another video.